Hey, it's Gianta here, and I want to welcome you to this live. If you're watching it live right now, I'd like to know where you're watching from, because I want to know where my viewers are watching from, so make sure you put where you're watching from right now so I know exactly where you're watching from, okay? And if you're watching the replay, make sure you put replay in the comments so that way I could go in the comments and see who's watching the video at a later time. Alright, so tonight I want to talk to you about three main things. The first thing being, where does your hunger come from, and how do you stay motivated, right? And I also want to talk to you about the relationship that you have with money, because everybody has a different relationship with money, right? So it all depends on the relationship that you have with money to let you know exactly how things are going to happen in your life, if they're going to turn out the way you want them to or if they're not. And I also want to talk about, how do you come up with a vision that's big enough to keep you driven towards your goals? How do you keep that vision big? How do you go towards that vision, right? And how do you make it to keep you motivated every single day while you're going throughout your business? So these are the three things that I'm going to talk about tonight. So the first thing that I want to say to you is, how do you stay motivated? And where does your hunger come from? Well, everybody stays motivated if they have a reason to actually move forward. If they have motivation, if they are serious, if they don't like their life conditions, if they're in a position to where the pain is more than the pleasure, they're going to want a change, right? So you're either in a state of transition or a breaking point, and those are the pain points. So if you're in a state of transition, something has happened to where you're changing in your life, right? So there's a change in your life that occurred somewhere that you want something different. Now, if you're at a breaking point, the breaking point is basically when you have your back against the wall and you really have nowhere else to go. You really have no alternative. You've been put into a position to where now you have to do something. Now you have to actually fight back, pretty much. You have your back against the wall. You don't have no other option. So those are the two scenarios to where people actually want the change. So you stay hungry based upon the reason why you started. So if you started for a reason, let's say your family, let's say the people around you, let's say your upbringing, any kind of reason that gives you a reason to get started, and that's the whole purpose, your burning desire. It's internal, it's not external. It's an internal thing of why you got started and why that whole thing happened, right? So it's never external, it's always internal. That's what starts you. That's your core. That's your burning desire. That's your passion. That's what gets you to move forward, right? So if you don't have a reason, if you don't have a why, if it's not strong enough to survive, to overcome, then you're never gonna make it, right? It's like Eric Thomas said. You gotta have a why that's just like you want to breathe. If it's not as strong as you want to breathe, then you're not going to make it. And that's what your why has to be. That's what keeps you motivated. That's what keeps you going. And that's what keeps you having the hunger to keep going, right? So if you don't have that, then you're lacking in those areas. And, there's people that just kind of dip their feet in the water when it comes to business, right? But if you're really wanting to get out of your situation, if you really want to make a change in your life, if you're really wanting to actually make a difference in your life and for others, you're going to have to go full force with it. It's not a game. It's not something that you play around with. It's something that you really want to put full force into. That's what a change is. It's a difference in your life. It's growing. It's motivation. It's personal development. It's making a greater version of yourself. If you're not going to make a greater version of yourself, then you're just going to stay where you're at. Alright, so if you stay where you're at, you're not going to have the results that you want to have in business. And a lot of that has to do with the next thing that we're going to talk about. Right? So, in the next scenario, let's talk about, the relationship that you have with money. So, in the relationship that you have with money, that depends on how you were brought up, what you believe to be true, and what you believe is possible. Right? Because if you believe something, some way that you've been conditioned is true, then it's going to be true for you. It's going to be your result. It's going to be your life. It's going to be a fact for you because you believe it's true. If you believe something is true, it will be for you, right? So if you were conditioned that way because of upbringing, because of family, because of something that you've been through in your life, or maybe it might be because you've never seen anything different, and so you believe that that's the only way, right? If you believe these things, then those beliefs are stuck in your head, and you have to really think about what you want. You have to really, get out there and see what's possible. And how you see what's possible is by pushing yourself to the limits, really putting in effort to push yourself to those limits. If you don't push yourself to the limits, you're never going to see what's possible. If you don't really want it bad enough and have a burning desire to actually do those things, then you're not going to do it. And your relationship with money is a sign of how you feel. And it shows up in your life. If you were told all your life that you're never going to be nothing, you're never going to be shit, you're never going to have shit, you're a piece of shit, like I was told my whole life, oh, you're never going to be shit, you're never going to do shit, you're just a piece of shit. Like I was told that by my own family, right? So when you're told something like that, if you start to believe those things, it's going to limit you and hold you back in life, right? So you can never believe those things if you know what you're going after is true. If you know that what you're doing has a purpose, has value, has reason behind it, then you're going to go after it with full force. So if you were told that money is evil, money is bad, and you shouldn't have money, then you might be the type to go in and spend your money. As soon as you get it, as soon as it goes into your pocket, it might burn a hole through your pocket. You never know. So the whole thing is you can't let money rule you. You have to control your money. You have to control your flow. You have to control what you speak into existence. And your beliefs about money, your lack or abundance factor, is part of the belief that's going to actually create it in your business. So if you don't see it before it actually manifests itself, you're never going to have it because you don't think that you're worthy of it. Your worthiness is what's really important in this whole thing, because if you don't feel like you're worthy of having it, then you're not going to have it. You're going to always, give your money away. You're going to always, blow your money. You're going to always end up in debt. You're going to always find excuses and reasons why you shouldn't have money. That's what happens. Well, that's your relationship with money. You see it as a bad thing. But if you see it as a good thing, if you see it as entrepreneurial, if you see it as fuel to get you from point A to point B, then you're going to invest and you're going to use your money to make money, right? You're not going to actually go and blow it or get a big chunk of it. It's like people that play the lottery, right? If you go and you play the lottery and you go and you've never had money before and you go and you blow that whole amount that you just made in the lottery and you don't invest any of it, you don't put any of it aside, you're going to lose everything. And you're going to lose that just as fast as you got it, right? So you have to have a good relationship with money, and it all starts with your beliefs, with your core values, with what you believe to be true. And it all ties in, this stuff all ties in together. But you have to really believe that there is a good relationship that you have with money. And you have to change your limited beliefs, the things that we've been told, that money's evil, that money's bad, that money don't grow on trees, that you're not worthy of money, that you're never going to make it, how much are you making? You know, these are the things that toxic people in our lives say. And especially like family and people around you that are supposed to care, they're the most toxic people out of all of them, right? So it's best to distance yourself from them. It's best to stay hungry, stay after that dream, keep that pumping, you know, because the only way that you're going to overcome something that you fear or that you feel not worthy of is to do the exact thing that you don't want to do. That's what's going to get you the result. So you constantly have to fight your brain, fight your mind, fight the way that you think to be able to actually overcome what you want to overcome. So if you're not able to fight those things, then you're going to end up having a problem in your business because you're going to feel like, I cannot overcome it. I cannot get past these roadblocks. I cannot, you know, be in my greatness, be at my full potential. And that's what you want to do. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about, and the final topic that I'm going to talk about, is how do you create a big enough vision that makes you hungry? How do you keep that vision burning and big, right? Because not everybody has a vision. That's what I want to say first and foremost. So not everybody has a vision. So you got to look at yourself first and foremost and be like, what do I believe in? What are my core values? Why did I get started in business? Why did I get started in online marketing, doing any kind of online business? What was my reasoning for it? Because at one point or another, you felt like there was a big enough reason for you to venture into business, venture into affiliate marketing, venture into making money online, venturing into having your own. So at one point or another, what was that reason that brought you to this point? What was that reason? What did you dream of? What did you think about when you first got started? That's what you really have to think about when you're in business and you're really thinking about, thinking about quitting. Because if you quit, you're going to stay in the same exact situation that you're currently in. Does that situation, is it in favor of you? Or is it a situation that you're not in favor of? That scares the fuck out of me, because I know that the alternative is worse than what you have. So if your alternative is worse, that should be your motivation, right? What is your alternative? Your alternative should create that bigger vision for you. The alternative should be your motivating factor. What is the alternative? And do you want the alternative? You've been living this way for how many years now? How many years have you been living like this? And are you okay with it? Are you satisfied? Are you happy with this life? If the answers to your question, or if the answers to those questions are no, then you simply have to realize your vision. And your vision, as you're listening to this, should be getting bigger, because you know that the alternative is worse. you know that if you don't build this business, if you don't make it happen, you know the alternative. It's just going back where you were. Staying back, staying held back. Do you want to be held back, or do you want to move forward? What do you want your vision to be? Do you want to accomplish it? Do you want to be able to spend more time with your family? Do you want to be able to go places with your friends? Do you want to no longer have to worry about money and financial situations? How do you want your life to be? What is that? What is that whole idea that you have in your head? What is the whole blueprint? As Tony Robbins would say, what is the blueprint, and does it match what you see in your head? Does your current situation match the whole blueprint? Or is it different? Is it off? Right? So you got to ask yourself, what is your alternative, and what is the blueprint that you have in mind? If you don't have a vision, those should be the reasons that create the vision for you. What is it that you want out of life? What do you want out of life? Why do you do what you do? Those should be the reasons. Do you know why you do what you do? Do you know what you want out of life? Have you written it down on paper? Have you spoken it into existence? What are those motivating factors for you? If you don't have any motivating factors, then I would have to say that something has to motivate you. What motivates you to do what you do? Is it family? Is it kids? Do you have kids? Is it your family? Is it people that you love? What motivates you to do what you do? What motivates you to keep going? That's what you really have to ask yourself. And if you can ask yourself those questions, you could definitely know what you want out of life. You could definitely create a big enough vision to keep you going, just by knowing that you don't want the alternative. What is the alternative? What is the alternative to you? That's what you have to ask yourself. So if the alternative is not favorable, if it's not something that you want, then you have to really ask yourself, what do you want? Where do you belong in life? What do you see yourself doing? What can you picture yourself doing for the rest of your life that you would enjoy? Right? Those are really important things, and you have to be very, very clear on your goals and what you want out of life. Because if you're not clear on it, you're never going to get it. You have to be very, very clear on what you want. And it's very, very important. If you want it, if you truly want it, you're going to be clear on it. If you're not clear on it, you don't truly want it. So you have to write it down, you have to be consistent, you have to think about it daily, you have to manifest it by thinking about it daily and speaking it into existence. So those are the main things that you need to do to actually have success in your life and in your business, and actually improve yourself, because you are the business and you are capable of whatever you want. There's no such thing as lack. The only lack is in your brain, right? So if you feel like there's a lack, the only lack is internally, right? So that's the only lack that you have, is internally, right? So that's pretty much what I want to say for this video. I hope you got massive value from the things that I'm saying today, and I hope you got a better understanding and a more clear idea of what you need to do and where you sit at with money, what you need to do to keep the vision and keep it burning, and what keeps you motivated. How do you stay motivated? Those are the important things that you really need to know when you're building your business. And if you got value from this video, make sure you smash the love button, share the video so other people can see it, and make sure you leave a comment and let me know exactly how you like the video, because I like to actually know what people think. So if you liked this stuff, make sure you let me know. Alright, I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon.